All right, my Yumivores, welcome back to YUMrx. I'm Dr. Jess, and we are going to continue our voyage through Fiber City and enjoy a little bit more of deliciousness by adding onions to two different dishes that we'll talk about. So you'll notice in our last episode, I added a massive yellow onion to our white bean soup. Well, let's talk about different types of onions that you might have. Now, a white onion is maybe something you're familiar with. You may have had this on a hot dog, as chopped up real fine on a hot dog or on top of chili. White onions have a really strong flavor, so they're the strongest of the onion types. You may have also heard or used a shallot before. Shallots are delicious. They are a milder onion. They're a little bit smaller than a regular onion, and so if you just need it a little bit, it's a great choice. There's a red onion, which we're going to talk about. We're actually going to use this in our spinach and strawberry salad. It's delicious. We're going to talk about how to eat it raw and do a little trick to make it a little bit less pungent, a little bit less strong when we're having it raw. And then yellow onion, that was in white bean soup. We did a great job with that. But my favorite by far is a sweet onion. So sweet onions are going to be sort of flat, a little bit more of a disc shape. A yellow onion is going to be more like a baseball, and they are what they say. They are naturally a little bit sweeter, and so what I find is I can grill them just a little bit and get a lot of sweetness out of them. So what we're going to do is in this episode, we are going to talk about two different dishes. You saw the yellow onion and white bean soup. We're going to add a little bit of red onion to a spinach and strawberry salad, and then we are going to go down a delicious rabbit hole, adding some caramelized sweet onion to pasta and having a really simple pasta dish. So I can't wait to see you there. Without further ado, let's yum it up. All right, y'all, so 100 grams of onion, which is about 2/3 of a cup, is 1.9 grams of fiber. So it's just adding a little bit of fiber. It's a little bit more than a bell pepper. And here I'm just chopping up the spinach. This is going to be for our spinach and strawberry salad, where we're going to use red onions. I like the salad leaves to be a little bit smaller when I'm taking a bite, so I chop them up. I also am chopping up some walnuts that I happen to have. You're going to see walnuts a lot because that's what I had in my pantry, and I'm trying to use them all. And I've got the walnuts set aside for a second. I've got some poppy seed dressing that I made. I'll make sure to link some different recipes for dressings from other chefs that I really like. So here I've got the red onion, and I'm not going to use all of it, but what I am going to do is, I've got to peel it. I'm going to slice it into some thin slices, and those slices are going to go into some water. So you'll see over on the left side, I've got a bowl of water, and that water is going to do two things. It's going to keep the onions from smelling too strongly in your kitchen, if that's a problem, if you've got little kids or if it's really sensitive to you. But it's also going to help make them less pungent, less strong when you add them to the salad and when you eat them raw. So I'm adding my strawberries here. I've got some chopped up strawberries. I'm going to add the walnuts in, make sure we've got all of that little crunch going on. I'm going to add now the the red onion, the little slices of red onion, and since they've been washed off, they're a little bit less potent, and my little poppy seed dressing that I had. I'm going to toss that together, and it's a really easy salad that has just a great flavor profile, a little tangy from the onion, sweet from the strawberry, and that crunch from the nuts really makes it great. Now, this is one of my favorite recipes for a pasta because I love cacio e pepe, which is a pasta, it's just basically cheese and pepper. I love it very much, but when I want to add a few more nutrients into that, for me, I make a version of this. Now, if you're Italian or you cook Italian food and you happen to know that this is actually a dish that's called such and such, I'd love to know about it, so please leave it in the comments. I'm just thinly slicing some sweet onions. I get them all ready. I had a touch of spinach left over, so I'm just chopping that up a little bit. I'm going to chop up again. Hey, there they are, the walnuts making an appearance. I'm going to chop those up too because we're going to add that for some crunch to our pasta. We're going to add that for a little bit of depth of flavor. And I am using a shape of pasta that I hadn't seen before that just happened to be there in the grocery store. So I've got on the left, all the way in the red pot, the water's boiling for my pasta. I've got a hot pan, I'm adding the oil, I'm adding the onions. We're gonna add, I think, a little bit of salt here. And then once we've got them sort of salted and covered, they're gonna release their water. So my goal was to just get these brown as quickly as possible. If you wanted to caramelize them really carefully, you would definitely turn the heat down and stir them a lot more often than I was doing. But I was being a little bit lazy and I just wanted them to have some color on them. So again, this is my lazy pasta. This is a weeknight. I'm exhausted. This is what we make. So I've thrown the nuts in now because I want them to toast just a little bit. Now, nuts can burn really quickly, so you want to be really careful about making sure that they go quickly. I'm also adding a lot of the pepe in the not cacio pepe dish. So I'm adding a lot of pepper to the dish, and again, tossing it around so that it kind of blooms or blossoms in the oil, and the flavor of the pepper really comes out. And now my pasta is ready on the other side, so I'm just dumping the pasta into the pot. And don't worry that there's some water dripping in. That's actually going to be our secret magic, not so secret. A lot of people know to add some pasta water into the dish. But right now I've got the cooked pasta that I put in, and we are going to start the magic process of emulsification. So we've got oil in the bottom of the pot, and we need to blend oil and water. And as you know, they don't go very well together. But we're going to add the pasta water. The starch in the pasta water helps to blend the oil together. And I've got a little bit more than half of the cheese grated. So I had some grated parm that I added to this. And I am going to stir until this gets glossy. Now you're going to think, Jessie, you should be done stirring. It looks like it's mixed up. Nope. We're going to keep going until it gets really shiny. So sometimes I'll add a little bit more water. I might add a little bit more cheese when I'm making this because I make this on a regular basis. I'm going to keep stirring until really it is fully glossy, it's completely coated, and what used to be just oil in the pan and pasta water and cheese have all blended together to make this perfect combination. There's a great chef, Carla Lalai Music, makes a phenomenal dish called Daddy Pasta, 10 out of 10. Go check that out. That's a really great way, and she explains this process really well. Now, I've thrown my spinach in. We're going to do the world's fastest covering of the pot because I want it to wilt just a bit. And now I've got my bowl, and we're going to uncover it again and just really take out a delicious serving of this pasta and get it ready for the bowl. And I'll top it with a little bit of cheese at the end and a little bit more pepper. But it's a great weeknight meal. It's filling because of the nuts. It's got that rich feel to it from the cheese and the emulsification. But because we've added some onions, it's got a little bit of extra fiber, and so it's a little bit of extra fiber goes a long way. Lots of pepper, lots of goodness. I hope you had a delicious dive into a couple of different ways to use onions. We've got a great start with our yellow onion and in the white bean soup, and then our sweet onion in that pasta. I want to go back to the red onion dish that we made, our spinach salad, because you may have noticed, you may have spotted that we included berries in that salad. And that's actually the next stop on our flavor train is to Berrytown. We're going to be very excited to be there. And we'll talk about how to use berries, how to enjoy them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and get those berries really to add a little bit of something extra, a little bit of something delicious to our lives. All right, so without further ado, let's transfer from onion over to berry. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.